a moment and count my guap, count my guap. All these drags bombing in, they bombing in. Hold up,
hey. And I'm bringing y'all a fire tutorial on Trippie Redd and Travis Scott's new song called Knight Dummo. The song's really getting a lot of attention right now, so I feel like it's good to just go ahead and do tutorial. So the first thing I'm gonna do, like I usually do, turn off everything on the master. I'm actually gonna take off this parametric EQ. I didn't use it, but we're gonna take off all these effects. We're gonna mute the instrumental, and then we're gonna mute the background vocals. Oh, if you see this this link right here, I basically linked it to second mixer, but I didn't do anything to it, so I just left that. So don't even worry about that. So I'm gonna turn off everything else and have auto tune first. So what y'all about to hear right now is gonna be the raw vocal, and the key is D sharp, scale minor. I put the retune speed at 10, scale detune. Just make sure it frees the screen and copy all these other settings. The input type, put a soprano voice, and this is what it's gonna sound like.
Hold up, take a moment and count my guap, count my guap. All these drags bombing in, they bombing in. Hold up, hey.
So now that you hear that, the next thing we're gonna have is Fruity Parametric EQ2. Basically what I did, just cut out a lot of the low frequency, cut at about 286 hertz, dipped it down about like 6 decibels. I know you see a lot of high end. I went ahead and boosted it a lot because the instrumental of this is really loud. So like the vocals really got to cut through the mix. So that's why the vocal press is going to be very high. And I kind of noticed the same with, you know, Trippie Redd's vocals and Travis Scott's in the song. So this is what it's going to sound like.
Hold up, take a moment and count my guap, count my guap. All these drags bombing in, they.
So now that you hear that, you know that it's a lot of high presence, but we're gonna take care of that later with de-esser with Maximus this time. And by the way, these are all gonna be stock plugins except for auto-tune. But if you want to use auto-tune in FL Studio, use Picture and just set it to the same key and scale and everything. So the next thing we have is a Fruity limiter. And basically what I did, I left the attack. You can go ahead and reset this. Make sure it's right there. The release, bring it all the way down to 0. And keep the head at 9.72 milliseconds. So what I did is I just brought up the gain. I brought up the gain to about like 6.5 decibels, and just brought the ceiling is just at 0 decibels. With this song, most of the time I usually mix vocals and keep it at -3 decibels or -6. But like I said, this instrumental was very loud. So I noticed that Trippie Redd's vocals were like sitting at 0, like the whole mix is really loud. So I'm just gonna go ahead and play this.
Hold up, take a moment and count my guap, count my guap. All these drags bombing in, they bombing in.
So now that you hear that, it's basically like leveling everything. I know some people might say like, you know, how come you didn't use a compressor? I pretty much like limiters. I feel like the natural sound still stays in the vocals and still keeps it kind of flat and surface. So after that, the next thing we're gonna have is Maximus. So what you want to do when you load in Maximus right here, you want to go click the drop down, go to presets, select de-esser split band. Once you select that, you're gonna want to get the band. It should initially be right here. You're gonna left click, drag it down to -12 decibels, and it's gonna take care of the high frequencies that we heard that was really annoying. So now that we have that, I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Hold up, take a moment and count my guap, count my guap. All these drags bombing in, they bombing in.
So now that you hear it, like the vocals are really, they have that really bright high presence, but then it takes care of some of those harsh S's and T's within the mix. So after that, we're gonna have a Fruity Reverb 2, and this is basically the settings I adjusted for the song for it to fit inside the instrumental. And you can go ahead and freeze the screen and copy these settings, but this is exactly what I did, and I'll go ahead and play exactly how the quality would sound like.
Hold up, take a moment and count my guap, count my guap. All these drags bombing in.
So now that you hear this, a lot of reverb in these vocals. I usually don't even put this much reverb or even put the low cut right here to this wide. It's just because the mix, the instrumental is extremely loud, and there's a lot of reverb in Trippie Redd and Travis Scott's vocals. So after that, we're gonna have a fruity delay too. I had this tempo set to 121. The song is about like 120, 121. So I found it best at 121. Put the time all the way to the middle. What it's gonna do is just gonna bounce back in the same BPM to where it's gonna, I guess, reflect right after the last word I said. So you want to set the cut to about right here, the volume to right here in the middle, and the volume right here. Just go ahead and just copy these settings, honestly, and I'll go ahead and play it.
Hold up, take a moment and count my guap, count my guap. All these drags.
So the last thing we have is a fruity limiter, and basically, like I said, just have this, reset it, keep this at 9.72 milliseconds, and release, bring it all the way down to 0. And it's basically gonna have the ceiling set at 0 decibels, and that's where the vocals will be at. And I'll go ahead and play it.
Hold up, take a moment and count my guap, count my guap. All these drags bombing in.
So next is the background vocals. I know this may look a little bit different from the lead vocal, but honestly, all you really want is a fruity chorus. And you can go ahead and add that after Maximus, or just even add it last, or put it right before the limiter. And basically what it's gonna do is gonna give that doubling and wide effect. So we're gonna go to this vocal and play it by itself, and you're gonna see exactly what I mean. So what you wanna do, you'll go to replace, just select fruity chorus right here. And I just make sure the knob will just all the way up. I really liked it loud, it sounded good. So this is what it's gonna look like and sound like. So I kept it about at -12 decibels. At first I kept it at -9, but it sounded a little bit better with -12 because the lead vocals stood out a little bit better. And the same thing with the second. I recorded two takes of the ad-libs and everything. So this is gonna be the second take right here, and I'll go ahead and play it. So it's like really gives that rock star vibe that Trippie Redd gives in his vocal. So I mean, sometimes with the chorus effect, you may not want to have it all the way up. It's sometimes best to even have it halfway. But just like I said, for this song, I know it's a lot of things were really expressed, I guess, like in excess, like instrumental, the vocals. So I went ahead and turned the fruity chorus all the way up for this one. And like I said, I had all these together and I linked it to one channel. But like I said, I didn't have anything on there, so don't even worry about the links right here. For the instrumental, we'll go to this next. What I did is, well, this is the first one. I basically added like a filter and everything. You don't have to. Really, the purpose of the video is for the vocal preset and the quality. But I added a cut and automation right here. And basically just to make sure there's some difference within some parts of the verse and the hook. The key thing you want to do is just make sure you get the 7-band drop all the way down. There was a lot of high frequencies with the hi-hats and percussions with the instrumental that I feel like was a little bit too much, but the engineer made it work somehow with their mixing. So we're gonna go ahead and play this with the vocal.
All these drags bombing in, they bombing in. Drop top, she dropped it. I pull up in a drop top, she dropped it. My diamonds dancing hopscotch.
So the next thing that we have is gonna be Maximus. What you wanna do is get the high band, drop it down with the pre, just drop it down 3 decibels. And with the mid, make sure the band is all the way up. We don't want it to be compressed or limited. And with the low, bring it all the way up. What I went ahead and did is around the 200 area, I noticed I felt like some of the stereo signal was coming in the 200 area where the bass is. So I went ahead and dropped it all the way down to mono just to clean up that area of the mix. And with the master right here, just bring that band all the way up. We don't want to mess with it at all. So like I said, I'll play this one more time so you can get a feel for it.
Drop top, she dropped it. I pull up in a drop top, she dropped it.
So next thing is going to be just the master. What I did, instead of using Ozone 5, the equalizer, just to cut out the high frequency, I used the Fruity Convolver. A lot of people don't even use this or know about it, but it's an FL Studio. Go ahead and just select that and bring it in to the master. And what I did, I personally did this myself. And if you want the FLP, just download it on my site, bluenovabeats.com. Go ahead and cut it at 1500 hertz. If you know how to use this, it's kind of tricky, but I'll include this in the FLP too. But I cut it and it takes care of some of that high frequency that's really going to be annoying and harsh. So that's what I went ahead and did. And I'll go ahead and play so you can hear what it sounds like.
Drop top, she dropped it. I pull up in a drop top, she dropped it.
And the very last thing that we're gonna have is the Fruity limiter. And what I did, just go ahead and reset this. Set the head to 9.72 or 10.23, just whatever. Then release, bring it all the way down to 0. And once we have that, we're gonna play the final mix.
Drop top, she dropped it. I pull up in a drop top, she dropped it. My diamonds did.
So that pretty much wraps up this tutorial. I know with this mixing for this in particular, it's just the fact that I guess the instrumental, personally, if I was to mix it, I would have adjusted it to where I'd like it to be. But I mean, the mixing wasn't bad, it's just extremely loud, so it's kind of hard for vocals to fit in this. But as far as what I could, if you play the acapella next to the original song, which I'm going to provide my acapella within the FLP, you can go ahead and overlay with Trippie Redd's song. You'll notice that my vocals fit as opposed to just hearing the mix in the session right here. So if you want the FLP, go ahead and go to bluenovabeats.com. Make sure to subscribe, comment, like, and share, and put in the comment section what y'all want to see, and just make sure to show more love.
Coming in, pull up in a drop top, she dropped it.